Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Labor Day. We generally look at Labor Day as a time to honor those who do the work to keep this country running in all the many aspects of life. From those who labor manually to those who work behind the desks to do the many, many jobs that, computers do now for the work. But today, though, I'd like to honor all of those who are doing a different type of work, spiritual work inside of themselves. And there are many types of what we would call hard labor. And although we generally think of hard labor as being a physical labor, I think the even harder labor, if you will, is the labor to control our minds and thoughts. There is so much outside of ourselves that pull us away from our inner work of totally and fully connecting with God, Source, that I feel we have to honor all the aspects of ourselves that are doing the work to keep us attuned to the one source, the true source of all, which is God. Today, we'll be discussing some of what our earliest spiritual writers shared that are prevalent today in rising above the pulls of this earth and maintaining our spiritual connection with the source of all things. In doing some research into what Charles Fillmore, Ernest Holmes, Edgar Cayce, Phineas Quimby, Napoleon Hill, and many other authors from the mid to late 1800s wrote about, we have different laws of the universe that are working with us and for us. If we know them and work with them, our lives can be so much better. And what I want to do today is take just a few of those laws and expound on them. I figure if we do know and understand these laws, then our personal lives and the lives of those around us would change so much for the better. So let's explore some of these laws. The first one I want to speak about is the law of unconditional love. Expressing unconditional love results in a very harmonious life. But to be clear, unconditional love is a lot bigger than romantic love. It's about accepting the people in your life exactly the way they are without judgment or expectation. It does not involve changing people or using them to your benefit. It's about pure acceptance of who and what they are. Love is not the opposite of hate. Love has no opposite. It has no conditions. It's not part of the duality. Pure love just is. And this law teaches us to recognize that ours and everybody else's essence is basically good or of the love vibration, however buried within the person that may be. Now, I know that sometimes it's extremely difficult to see someone's inner light when it's about the size of a pea and their behaviors reflect anything but love. But what's essential to understand that the behavior is almost always a facade for the person's lack of self-esteem or fear-based thinking. Everyone in this world functions according to their own set of programs, beliefs, and perceptions. And since everyone is energy, they're more than just their physical bodies. Their behaviors may not reflect their true being, but beyond the physical, somewhere inside of them is love. And it is this essence that is a part of everyone. It's important to recognize that others' behaviors are simply misguided programs used to get some intended outcomes such as love, acknowledgement, abundant support, help, growth, wealth, and so forth. And under the law of unconditional love, no matter what the behaviors, you love them anyway. And really, who are we to judge? There's no being on this planet that's perfect. No one. is living the perfect life. So love is pure energy, and it's always returned, no matter what the behavior. One may not like the behavior of another, but one still loves. Love loves everyone as an unfolding being without conditions, judgments, condemnation. So the law of unconditional love is a really hard one to comprehend, especially when someone has done something to hurt you or someone you love. You want to label them as bad people who have no love in their hearts, and you believe that they are evil and therefore should not be loved. Yet the opposite is true. They have love deep in their being. It is, however, their behaviors which do not contain love. So recognize, though, that when working with unconditional love, it doesn't mean that you must accept or even like the person's behavior. You may dislike someone, but you still love them as a human being. So as you work with the law of unconditional love, you will find that your relationships with others will become smoother. Antagonism seemingly melts away from your life, and the people you attract into your life are more like you. The second law I want to talk about is the law of vibration and energy. Everything is energy. Everything in the entire universe is made up of a vibration of energy. And this is true in physics as with everything else. Energy can only transform. It can never die. It must go forward or back, but it can never stand still because that is stagnation, and energy is never stagnant. The only thing we have control over is the level of vibrational energy we send out. So the law of vibration states that everything, every atom, object, and living thing is in constant motion, vibrating at a specific frequency. The only difference between one object and another being the rate of its vibration. So someone's energy, or the energy of a physical space or a group of people, isn't something that you can see or touch, but it's something you can sense, feel, and react to. And the whole idea behind this law is not only that we all have a specific vibrational frequency, but further that we can learn to adjust our vibration if we're caught in a low vibrational experience or scenario. The more you attune to your own energy, the more you see how your vibration affects your entire, experience. You will only attract to yourself energy that matches up with your energy. You will only attract vibrations that match up with your vibrations. And we have the power to dictate the frequency of our being by directing our own thoughts. And your thoughts have vibrational energy. The thought, I need more money, actually holds a vibration of lack. The thought, I wish I had a healthier body, holds the energy of ill health. Everyone has XYZ, but I never will, holds the energy of actually pushing away what we desire. The universal law can help you figure out how you feel in a situation or scenario at any given time. Once you figure out what feels like a high vibration for you, like attracts like. So attitudes, places, people that feel connecting, healthy, and exciting, it's easier to sense when you are in the presence of high vibrations that match up with yours. So if we put the first law, the law of unconditional love, and that into effect more and more often, and then our vibrational energy is of the highest level possible at any given moment. When this is held moment by moment, then over time, you begin to notice the higher and higher vibrational frequencies of people, events, situations, and they just begin to show up in your own personal field of the vibration that you are. The third law I wish to discuss is the law of cause and effect. This goes completely along with the first two laws. A law, a lot of people call this the law of karma, but since most people think of karma as negative, I prefer to just call it the law of cause and effect. And this law is a universal law, which specifically states that every single action in the universe produces a reaction, no matter what. But it's not just actions, it's also our thoughts and our words that are producing the reactions also. In other words, the vibrational energy is going out from our own being over a consistent period of time. So every single effect within our world upon our earth has a cause, an original starting point. All paths have an original first step, and from that first step comes a chain reaction of events with further outshoots spanning out in all directions. And and so on. So duplication and replication takes place. All your thoughts and your human behaviors and all your movements affect the entire universe according to the law of cause and effect. So every single item within the universe is relative and nothing is separate. Therefore, if you move your hand, you are actually moving this space which surrounds it, and that space is connected to all space within the infinite universe. Our thoughts create a movement, no matter how minute it is. All thoughts lead to movements or human behavior, and all movement behavior leads to further thoughts. So we're all governed by a chain reaction of events from cause. We're all subject to the universal law of cause and effect, or effect and cause. And it's also said in metaphysics that all ripples that transfer outwards will have to return back to the source. And of course, the source is you, or the human that created it in any lifetime. So all output or actions have consequences, and these consequences may cause positive or negative influences or effect on your personal or others, your lives. Hence the saying, we reap what we sow. All human thoughts which lead to words and expressions or output, and consequently behaviors unto others, create a ripple or a wave, and this can be called energy. According to this law, there is no such thing as luck. There is only action returning to its source in the form of an effect. The beautiful part about this law is if we are utilizing the first law, the law of unconditional love, we're actually using the law of love to work the law of cause and effect in your favor. The more unconditional love you send out, the more unconditional love and effect you get back. Very easy peasy. The fourth law is the law of prosperity. The more you give, the more you get. The more service and value you offer the world, the more money you receive in return. So if you're having trouble with money, be less concerned with the paycheck and more concerned with how much you're giving away. The money will always follow. And once again, this ties into the first, second, and third laws. If we're giving out unconditional love as much as we can, as much as we can remember to do so anyway, then we're raising our vibrational energy more to the pure energy of the God source. The more we raise our energy to be the more like that of God's source, we are then moving into the law of cause and effect with a very high vibration, like that of God's source. So we are being the cause of higher vibrational energy going out. And so with that, we can only attract higher vibrational energy, effects to come back to us. Some of the aspects of that higher vibrational effect is that of greater health, greater prosperity, greater joy, life, love, etc. All the greater aspects of the God source that you are putting out into the world just by holding the law of unconditional love in your heart. So the next law is called the law of divine order. Edgar Cayce once wrote, everything that happens in life is exactly as it should be. There are no accidents. Your thoughts and emotions are creating the world that you live in. And as we move along our journey in life, we have events happen that may seem negative to us. And each of these events actually can seem as an event that leads us onto a new path. All the events in your past that you have experienced were meant to happen. Accept them for what they were and for letting each of them shape your journey to this point. And this also incorporates the law of surrender. Surrender may be one of the most misunderstood terms on the spiritual path, though. It's often understood as giving up or being passive. But actually, spiritual surrender is acceptance. It's acceptance of what is in your present reality, or understanding that everything is truly in divine order. Spiritual surrender to our lives is a profound, space of acceptance. We stop putting our filter on what we want into life, and we fully accept what is. And this is amazing because it can transform our lives almost instantaneously. You can start to see more clearly what's right in your life for you and what needs to change. And this isn't being thought of in the same ego judgment way. There's always ego in saying something is right or wrong. The real irony is that the more you surrender, the more that that true divine order can take place. Even after beginning to use these first few laws, life isn't going to be all peaches and cream immediately. As your energy shifts, and it does take time to get the obstacles and the consciousness and subconscious minds to work together, just know that divine order is at work in all areas of your life. You are meeting your own energies out there. But as you hold to the law of unconditional love, no matter what, and you remember that this is changing your vibrational energy to attract greater good, that helps you to remember that it is you in the first and foremost. That's the cause of everything that's happening in your life. And with that, you will then begin to see the greater good flowing in as you hold to unconditional love and accepting what is. When all this happens, you can fully understand then that you are actually the cause of the perfection of divine order in your life in the way that you are only wishing it to be. So learning the laws is just the first stand. To get the benefits, you must also put them in practice. And the more that you can harness the laws of the universe, the easier your life will become. My suggestion is this: just play with them. Play with these laws consciously over and over and over again. And I would begin with fully just working on unconditional love. Really just pay attention to how much you're judging, condemning, becoming irritated or frustrated, and then how quickly you can go from that to seeing the love vibration in every person, no matter what they're doing or how they're acting. The beautiful part of this is that it then flows into the law of grace, which states as soon as you turn your mind from judgment to loving, the energy of judgment is dissolved, and the only energy going out from you is the energy of love. So have fun with this. Just play with it. Just begin to see how the other laws just fall into place when we put the absolutely first and most powerful law into effect, the law of unconditional love. But as we are doing unconditional loving, just know that everything inside of us, it's all a part of God. It's all a part of the Christ. It's all a part of the one. You're never separate from the God within. the God source. Happy Labor Day, everyone. And do enjoy. Have a safe and sane one. Take care, all. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.